Points.
Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome to episode 26 of the Broad Points Podcast. I am your host, the broad that points, the broad with the points. I am Tyler the Lady. And to start off today, we are going to begin with a very short poem. It's called Coffee. Build myself up just to break myself down. Different mask, same clown. Pour me in, wait for the day to begin. The adrenaline, cortisol to kick in. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with coffee. I grew up playing sports in Washington where it was very cold and a warm beverage was greatly appreciated. So it's also the home of the infamous Starbucks. So when we would go on the road, when we would be traveling, it was always so easy to stop at a Starbucks and grab a drink. Whether that was a hot chocolate or a spiced apple cider. I then later got into teas. I'm a big chai tea fan, which chai means tea. So when we say chai tea, it's saying tea tea. Do you want a tea tea? If you say chai latte, it means you want a tea with milk. Right? So just fun facts, just fun little things about language that we don't realize. But as I evolved into an adult, I realized all these adults are drinking coffee. Let's get into coffee. What is coffee? And coffee and tea both contain caffeine, unless, of course, it's a herbal tea. But caffeine, you guys, caffeine. It's in so many things. Sabrina Carpenter has a song out that's called Espresso. We did a different dance to one called Taste in my dance class, which was a ton of fun. I actually tried to teach my niece that dance, and she was so funny. It's so funny teaching 6-year-olds anything, because new information, you can just see it kind of breaks their brain for a minute. But we got through the first part. She found a favorite move. She learned something. She was happy. Quality time, not quantity time. But coffee, you guys, right? So as I started to consume more and more coffee, as I started to consume more and more caffeine, and I have to say energy drinks too were also really big in the sports scene for me. I can't say that they still are. I like to believe that the younger generations have maybe learned from our abuse of vices. Because at this point, caffeine and sugar are really my only vices right now, you guys. It's just what it is. And so for me, my journey with caffeine, it has taken on many a form, but it has never particularly treated me right. And I didn't really understand that until I learned what the heck caffeine does, right? Caffeine doesn't just give you energy. Caffeine isn't the energy giver, the energy holder. It's actually not. What it does is it stimulates your adrenal glands, right? It throws you in to that fight, flight, or freeze mode. And when your body goes into that mode, you start to produce all of your stress chemicals. And back in the day when we were cavemen and our stress chemicals were triggered, it made sense, you know, the hair on the back of our neck stuck up because maybe a lion was going to eat us. But these days, we're drinking coffee to just get through the day, get through a meeting, try and shake off that hangover if you're a drinker. The effect of it is maybe not what we think. And so I like to share this knowledge from time to time. It actually had come up from somebody else was posting about anxiety that they found was related to their coffee consumption. And so I just shared with them the same information that I did with you so that you can be aware of the choices that you're making. And I have to say, for me, it really did get darker before it got brighter in that state, because one of my first jobs was working at a trampoline gym, you guys, and it was around the time when 5 Hour Energy was just banging. It was everywhere. You know, and we had the monster trucks, the Monster Energy trucks, not a monster truck. Although it would be cool, I would say, if Monster Energy did drive a monster truck around, and if you stopped that, you got a free case of Monster. Because supposedly I have heard that if you stop the Red Bull car, they'll give you a case of Red Bull. Again, I have not done this myself. It's just what I've heard. I don't really like energy drinks. But I'll tell you why. Because from working at this trampoline gym, we had some people come in, some vendors come in. And one day, 5 Hour Energy decided to share their presence and their product with the staff. They left a full table filled with 5 Hour Energy. And at that time, I can't exactly remember what age I was. We're going to call it 18 just for funsies here. At 18, I was like, this is for free energy. And I wanted it. I wanted more energy. I didn't have a lot of energy. I was really, making some interesting choices back in those days to where I was exhausted. I was also commuting to a morning shift in Bellevue from Burien on 405 rush hour traffic, which if you're from Washington, you know that highway, it's 2 lanes and it sucks. The traffic, dude, it could be so brutal. Last time I was in Seattle, I think they might be widening that road. There was a lot of construction on 405. All they can really do is hope on that front because the infrastructure is not built for how many people are currently living there and continuing to move there. But we'll see what happens. Anyways, I decided to have 2 5 Hour Energy drinks. Yep. Not one. 2. Maybe it was my love for 2 Chainz at the time. I thought it would be okay. You guys, it was not okay. I drank 2 5 Hour Energy drinks back to back. They're like little shots. It was like partying, just doing shots of 5 Hour Energy drink, not knowing what was going to happen, ready to just fight through the day. I physically started shaking. I could feel my heart pounding out of my chest, and my head was just spinning. My manager comes out and he takes one look at me because I'm on the front desk. I'm greeting all of the people who are coming in. I'm pale. I do not look right. My everything is just shaking. And he says, Tyler, I think you got to go home. And I did. I really, really did. I'm so happy that I didn't have a heart attack. I think honestly, in comparison to how much caffeine is out there in the world these days and some of these energy drinks and super coffees, just be mindful. I'm just putting it out there to be mindful because I recognize these things in myself. I notice that I am highly sensitive. I can notice when stress is ticking up. And for me, when I'm consuming mass amounts of coffee, it also doesn't really make me want to eat food, which I know my body wants food because why? That is fuel, right? Even if you don't like to eat, food is fuel. We need nutrients for many different purposes in our body to build muscle, to increase focus, to so many things. We'll get into some nutrients in upcoming episodes. For now, caffeine, you guys. It stimulates our stress response. So just be aware of that. For me personally, what that information has done for me is I have gone through phases of quitting caffeine. I'm going to say pretty hard because caffeine, like sugar, it's in a lot of things. We don't realize how much caffeine is in the things that we're consuming. I mean, it's in chocolate. Dark chocolate specifically. But let's just be mindful about what we're consuming and maybe when we're consuming it, right? Because, hey, let's say you're not getting the best sleep right now. Could it be because you're having a coffee at 10 p.m.? Who knows? Also, maybe it's causing some intrusive thoughts. What are intrusive thoughts, Tyler? Maybe you've had them. Maybe you don't realize you're having them. Intrusive thoughts are a disruption or an annoyance of unwelcome or uninvited thoughts, right? Sometimes it's your voice. Sometimes it's maybe someone else's voice in your head that's saying them to you. But intrusive thoughts, anxiety, these are things that can be triggered by stress. To every action, there is a response. Whether that's by our body, our environment, it's important for us to recognize what is happening. What is happening with you? And so, today, to battle the intrusive thoughts, let's give you a fundamental phrase to try on for the week. The fundamental phrase this week is: find your light, live a life you choose. Find your light, you guys. It's all about finding what lights you up. Who lights you up? What do you feel lighter doing? Because once we are able to align with ourself, with our beliefs, with our purpose, we really are able to start making choices for the life that we want to lead. We're able to make strides towards the future because we're not worried about the intrusive thoughts. We're not worried about what everybody else has to say about us or to us. It doesn't matter. If it doesn't light you up, it's irrelevant. So I just want to ask, what lights you up? What gives you that lighthearted feeling? What makes time disappear? I know for me, there'll be times when I'll be working on an art project and I'll just be so into the art project that time completely just evaporates from this existence and I'm so in it. I know for me that aside from me doing things, me being with certain people can light me up. There are some people in my life that I will hang out with, that I can have a conversation with, and I just feel a weight is lifted off of me. These days, I really try to surround myself, not with cheerleaders, because I don't need people to just be my yes man or yes woman. I don't need that. I want people who are energetically vibrating on that same level as me. People who desire growth, people who desire connection and the spreading of love. That really lights me up these days. That's why I'm here on this podcast, right? What lights me up? I love sharing. I love storytelling. I love being able to share knowledge and opportunities for growth. I love being able to connect with community. All of these things, they light me up. So really, truly, take some time, if you have it, if you want to just check in and see what lights you up. Maybe it's hiking. I love hiking. Nature. I love nature. Maybe you hate all of those things. Maybe math. Maybe science. Maybe documentaries. But we have the option to choose. And I'm going to tell you right now that when you find your light and you are shining bright, there are going to be people. There are going to be things that are going to come And they are going to challenge that. I don't know what it is about this life, but there are some challenges to where we really need to just stick to our guns, to just focus on us, to not worry about what other people have to say. And by doing that, we're able to become witches. And, not, let's say, burn 'em at the stake witches or you collect stone witches. If you're a woman, right? I guess you'd be a Mitch if you're a man, but we'll get into that. If you're a witch as a woman, it's a woman who's in total control of herself. Right? We're in total control of ourselves when we're able to hear our body's signals, when we're able to see the light that radiates from us, that radiates through us, that we can share with the world. And men in total control of themselves, I guess, would be a Mitch. It's hilarious because it's Matt's dad's name. But come on, guys, let's listen to our bodies. Men, women alike. Adults, children alike. Your body is communicating to you. Sure, it does not know our normal English language. Not every single muscle in our body has, lips and a voice to communicate with, but they are giving signals. They are giving signals. And on this past weekend, this past week, I should say, I went on a night hike, and I love a night hike. I particularly love a full moon hike in the desert because, why? There are no trees. So the whole pathway is illuminated by the moon. It's gorgeous to just walk amongst the stars and the moon and just not have to worry about artificial light. Ugh. Artificial light just kills me. Even overhead lights in buildings sometimes are just too much for me. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I'm big on mood lighting. I'm big on fun lighting. I love me some lasers, but there is something about a fluorescent light bulb that really grinds my gears, you guys. And so when all of these people who decide to go on hikes underneath of the full moon, who decide to hike with their lights on the normal light setting or their phones on a regular light setting, it drives me bananas. Bananas! The moon is out. You don't need a light. Your eyes can adapt if you just let them. Just give them the chance. And if you really, really, really feel like you need some assistance to see, please invest in a red light. A red light is the farthest on the end of the spectrum that our eyes are the most relaxed in. So it's, from pure nothing to then red. That I will accept. I have red lights. I use red lights when I would hike underneath of the trees. I used red lights. Try a red light, please. PSA, red lights. But on this hike, I know I had been talking to you guys about my plantar fascia last week. I noticed that I was rolling to the outside of my feet. So my plantar fascia had been communicating to me, hey, Tyler, you're doing something wrong. You're doing something that is hurting us. You're doing something that's non-organic to your body type, to your body movement. And it allowed me to check in because everything is connected. Every single thing within us is connected. And so for me on that hike, I decided to wear adventure sandals. And I'm going to have to say this is maybe where I'm going to draw the line on my adventurous spirit, because going up, I was totally good until I saw some people and their artificial lights and their dogs not on leash and that sort of stuff. It doesn't light me up. And as a result, I felt myself go to the outside of my right foot, also catch my adventure sandal on a rock so that my foot would continue going forward and my pinky toe could catch a different rock and bend backwards. And I don't think it's broken, but it is still severely bruised, and it's been a grip of days. It's been a grip of days, but my toe's still here. And ever since I did that, oh my gosh, my plantar fascia feels so good, and I can say with confidence now that the weight is evenly distributed between all four corners of my feet. We did it! Victory! So allow yourself, you guys, to hear those signs, to find your light, and to not be swayed by other people's opinions or beliefs or just anything that they want to put on you, right? And I know we can do that moving forward. If you wanted to do that moving forward, I have complete and total confidence that you can. Why? Because it is a journey that I have embarked on, and I know that everyone can do anything I can do. You can. I can do anything anyone else can do. You can do anything I can do. We're all capable. We just have to believe. And sometimes we don't want to believe. Sometimes we don't need to twist ourselves into a pretzel like the Cirque du Soleil people. It's just what it is. We don't. Sometimes we also need to address the past, right? There's a level of deconditioning that may need to occur in your life, right? Maybe those intrusive thoughts, they're not even yours. Maybe they really are in someone else's voice, and we have to take the time to really recognize that and decide, is this a belief or a limitation that I have set for myself, or was it instilled upon me? We have a choice in what we believe, regardless of who tells us what to believe. We always have the option to go back and audit those beliefs. We have the option to change those beliefs. And I'm sure you guys know from all of the numerous things out there in the world that tell you that habits need to be replaced. You can't just remove a habit, right? Well, you can't just remove a belief either. It's taking up space within you. These things, these habits, these beliefs, they're taking up space within you. And I know people are like, oh, multiple personality disorder. But no, if you just imagine that they're different people, right? Different voices, different things. You don't have to be crazy about it to think this way, but you can just imagine that there are different characters within you, that you can give them different jobs, right? Instead of having this, limiting sort of behavior or any sort of annoyance or, negativity, catabolic energy, we can switch it. We can have it do something else. We can give them different jobs. And I had actually done this piece in coaching, and it is a sculpture that I did, and I named it Insecuritina. And it is a sculpture of the female form from about, we'll say, the waist up to the shoulders maybe. And it's also a flower vase, but it has all these cracks in it that are lined with gold so that it looks like kintsugi. And the reason for this is because we were supposed to create our gremlins. And I had felt so insecure. There were so many things that were pulling me in different ways. And the thing that I realized was Insecuritina is insecure because of the things that have happened to her, the things that she has experienced, the things that she has heard, both from herself and from other people. But she was a part of me. It was me. It wasn't somebody else. It might have been me at a different age, right? Me in a different time, but it was still me. And so to allow myself to give Tina a new job, and I didn't get to do it in coaching school the way that everybody else did. I will not get into that of what happened, but I had to do it on my own, which I truly believe that everything we do, we have to make the decisions ourselves. No one else can tell you where to go. Nobody else can tell you what to do. You know. You know. And so for Tina, I've had to tell her, Tina, I don't need a bully. I've had enough bullies in my life. I've endured enough abuse in my life. I've been beaten down, I've been kicked, and I don't want that anymore. How you could actually benefit me is if you could be my hype woman. Yeah, I want you to be my hype woman. I want to be up on stage of the stage of my life, giving my all in my performance, high energy performance, loving performance to the world. And I want you, Tina, to just tell me how awesome I'm doing. Tell me how badass these brows look. Tell me how good my butt looks in these pants. Tell me all the things that are positive. Instead of being a bully. Enough with the bully behavior. Let's cancel bully behavior. And so something, that can help us, a tool that can help us, especially when we're trying to find that light. What lights us up? Maybe there's too many artificial lights going on. Maybe we're just basically at some sort of EDM rave where all of the lights are flashing in our face. We don't know what's up and down. Centering. Visioning. Centering, you guys. Centering allows you to block out everything that's not you. Everything that exists in the outer world, we can block it out when we center so that we can find, and I learned this from a friend of mine that I'm hopeful that one day she'll be on this podcast, inner standing. To understand our inner works. Inner stand. Centering. And so I'm going to record this separately and put it on my Patreon so that you guys have it. I will also do this centering exercise for you here. If you want to skip through it, you're more than welcome. Maybe you're driving, you can't close your eyes. That's okay. Please don't close your eyes when you're driving. Please only close your eyes for this if you can. If you're in the area, the space that you can. It's just a centering exercise. And this one in particular, I made so that I could tune in to what was going on in my head and recognize if it was me or if it wasn't, and then allow myself to move forward. So, when you're ready, you may close your eyes and start to recognize the magic of your body. Breathe slowly to savor the nutrients. Embrace the constant that is growth with each inhalation. And as you exhale, release all energy no longer serving you. As another breath begins to fill you, feel your spine lengthen. Exhale to release all negativity surrounding you. Notice any voices calling you away. Who are they? What are they saying? Where are they taking you? How willing are you to explore? Take note as you return to your breath of any resistance. Deeply inhale acceptance, for you are exactly where you are supposed to be. letting go of the breath through the mouth. Release all fear that limits you. Now, as your breath returns to normal, hear these words as if they're your own. I am fun. I am enjoyment. I am driving this spaceship. Welcome back. And no, you are driving that spaceship. I'm driving this spaceship. And this centering exercise, you can replay it from this. Eventually, I will have that Patreon up. It will have it recorded separately so that you can just listen to that, download that if you would like. But centering, it's just about trying on the shoes, right? Seeing which shoe fits your foot so that you can find strength in your foundation. And if you feel like you're looking for a new pair of shoes to strengthen your foundation in the physical world, maybe you need some Xero shoes. They are my favorite minimalist shoes these days. I love them so much. And if you want to experience them for yourself and get me paid, you can absolutely try them on. You can absolutely buy a pair. Use my affiliate link. My Xero Shoes affiliate link is xeroshoes.com/go/Tyler the Lady. And Xero with an X, guys. X, 'cause they're edgy. I'm really excited for these upcoming weeks. I'm very excited to be wrapping up episode 26 this week with you all. We are going to be having some guests join us. More information to come on that. But in the meantime, don't forget to like, rate, review, subscribe. How else will you know when these new episodes come out? And most importantly, share. Sharing is caring. We expand by sharing. We grow together. Share this with your friends. Share this with your family. Share this with your coworkers. Maybe share this to someone that you just see as having a bad day. Hey, there's no limit on how you can share. There's no limit on how you can react. But together we rise. So I am really excited for our upcoming guests. If you do want to reach out to me, if you maybe want to be a guest, I'm also open to hearing. I believe that we all have something to share. I believe we all have something to learn from everyone, right? Everyone is both our teacher and our student here. And so let's talk about it. Let's do it. You can find me at Broad Points or at Tyler the Lady on all of these different social media platforms, regardless of how available I may be or look to be on them. I will respond to you. I do. I promise. I love to talk. I love to connect. Let's do it. And if social media isn't for you, hey, I get it. You're preaching to the choir on that one. You can email me, broadpointspodcast@gmail.com. Now, one more time with that fundamental phrase for the week. Find your light. Live a life you choose.